All right, everybody, what's good with you? How you feeling? Come on, give each other a round of applause. You made it this far. You made it this far. I feel great. I feel amazing. All right, relax. Y'all know how I do. You know how we do. I'm Tay D Bear, and I got a lovely guest today. That's definitely going to help us on our trials and tribulations of motherhood. But as we know, motherhood is definitely something to behold. So, my lovely guest, tell them who you be.
Charlie B, baby.
Okay, okay. So, the reason, I always like to start with a mission statement of why we do this. The reason we're doing this is because for mothers, for new mothers who are out here feeling like, their situations is solely unique. And I'm not saying like their situations isn't, their situations is generic, but I am saying that there are many roads on this road called motherhood. And and there are people who have traveled these roads before you have. So we do this so that new mothers can see that they can overcome situations. They can also reach out and see that all situations, whether it's tough, whether it's easy, all situations are just you know the the ever changing quest of motherhood. So let's get into it. Miss Charlie B, how have you been?
I'm great. Can I just say that the whole time you were talking, you ever seen Touched by an Angel? Like I was just singing that theme song in my head the whole
Okay, I can tell we are here today.
time.
So, how have you been? Like, what's been up with you?
Nothing much. I have been good. Just what this topic is about, being somebody's mother, because that's all I am at this point in my life.
Okay, I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all. So, let's start at the beginning of all this. We're gonna back this up because you've been a mother for how long?
16 years.
16 years. So we're gonna go all the way back to day one when you found out you were pregnant.
Ugh.
What were your honest reactions?
Are we allowed to curse?
Yes.
I said, oh shit.
Why? Oh shit.
Okay. See, I thought, not gonna lie, not gonna hold you. I thought I had gas. I was at my best friend's house and my stomach was hurting. It was cramping. Now, a little backstory. Let me go back. This was in August of 2007. I had just came back from burying my mother in June. I spent the summer in Baltimore after that, drinking heavily. Was 18, but I was drinking heavily. And so I was in complete shock. Took a test and I was like, no, nah, that shit ain't right. So went back and got four more and they all came back positive. I said, let me stop buying these cheap ass because I was buying $1.
Chill.
Went and got one of those. What's the one? I forget the name of it, but it'll show up pregnant, not pregnant. That shit showed up pregnant so good and pretty. So there we were, me and this little thing that I was hoping wasn't gonna have fetal alcohol syndrome.
Whew. Okay. So your first feeling was oh shit. Was
Yes,
it
I was scared. I was
okay?
scared.
Okay. So you were scared.
I was
You were
very
scared.
scared.
Okay. I've heard that a lot. I've heard that a lot. I heard one
But
lady
I
say,
think I was scared for different reasons. I grew up very hard and not as what people would think, being tough. No, I grew up, my mother, just to be completely transparent, love my mother, but my mother was alcoholic. And she was not very nice to me most of the time. So I was terrified of being somebody's mother because I didn't know how to love people. Um, so that's what made me and I was terrified I was gonna have a little girl. And then God said, hold my beer.
that makes sense. That,
So,
that makes sense. Well, God know how to lay it on you, don't he? You know,
listen,
listen. He will sign you up for a package that you had no idea was coming.
okay, all the way.
Phew. Okay, so you said you had to learn how to love, by different means, and one of my initial questions for today is: have you ever considered alternate that like on your path? Have you ever considered alternate options for parenting it, such as like adoption or leaving your kid with a relative or anything like that. Like, were those options that were those active options in your early stages of being a mother?
I'm sure they could have been options. They just weren't options for me. And that is not to anybody who has chosen adoption or to let somebody else raise the baby. I am completely pro-choice. Whatever you want to do with your body, your hoo-ha, and your child, that is your business. Just for me personally, it wasn't because I'm so obsessive with certain things. Where's my child? I wonder if they're doing XYZ. Like in my mind, nobody could love. I didn't even know what it was at the time. The child, nobody could love it as much as I could. So adoption or abortion just wasn't in the cards for me, or giving it to someone else. But I completely condone it if that's what they want to do. Don't y'all come trolling me talking about Charlie B. No,
Okay.
I am completely pro-choice. Whatever you want to do with your body. But I knew that I would keep the baby.
Okay. All right. So, has there ever been a time where your child was not your motivating factor in a decision in your life?
Absolutely. Absolutely. There have been plenty of times where she was not and I know, again, the my child's with me 24/8 mothers will probably, be upset. But I am of the belief that if the parent, whatever parent, if it's the mother or the father, if the parent isn't okay, then how can the child be okay? So sometimes, no, you cannot make the best decision. You can make the decision for you as long as it doesn't compromise the child.
Okay. Um, do you ever feel like, as because she's a teenager now, right? I mean, of
Yes.
course she's a teenager now, but uh, do you ever feel like your position as a mom has overshadowed who you are as a person to, let's say, relatives or friends or things of people of that nature or any type of caliber? Like,
Um, Absolutely. Maybe not necessarily to other people because I'm just kind of sort of not a person that really gives a damn. But in my own mind, um, because I was married for quite some time. I'm going through a divorce. So once the divorce thing happened, and then Jayla hit a teenage age, and she's got her boyfriend, and she's living her life, and it was like so right now I'm at the point where I'm trying to figure out who am I outside of being somebody's mother and outside of being somebody's wife, especially somebody's mother, because I've been someone's mother my whole adult life since I was 19 years old. So like when people post those, when I'm in my 40s and I'm wilding out and y'all changing diapers, mind your business. That's me.
yeah, I like that. I like to think that. I like to think that. so let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, and then this question is going to be for the mothers with, because I'm not a mother, but I am a father of two little girls,
Right.
and both my daughters are 9 years old. So with that being said, what is something that you wish somebody would have told you about raising a young girl?
She gonna act like you. She gonna steal your face. She gonna want some of your drink, even though you're diabetic and can't have sugar, but she gonna want your non-sugary drinks. No.
My daughter do like sea moss. I don't understand why.
No, I wish someone would have told me that it's okay to say no and not feel guilty. I wish that would have been talked about more because mom guilt is something so real. And
Let's let's talk about that.
right.
Mom
So
guilt. I,
yeah.
that is a new one because I don't think I've heard anybody really talk about mom guilt. I heard they talk about buyer's guilt, but I haven't really heard anybody really phrase it as mom
See,
guilt.
mom
So
guilt can be almost the same thing. Mom guilt is I'm in this store. Let's just say this is an example. I just cashed at Jayla 40, $50 to throw up a monkey's ass so it can say oink. Yes, a monkey and oink. But I'm in this store and I want this $5 lip gloss. I could have sent Jayla that extra $5 so she could have got the pig to go with the monkey. Like it sounds that stupid, but it's really that. Like you always think of when you want to do something for yourself, you're always thinking there's something for the house, there's something for my child, there's something for the car, there's something responsible I could be spending this money on. So mom guilt is a real good thing. I'm the only parent, so I'm the disciplinarian, and I very rarely get to be the hero, the acknowledged hero. I will say, because I am most definitely the hero because mommy makes it pop. So um, it's just, I wish that would have been talked about more. Is it's okay, and that I don't have to be guilty for wanting to do for myself and not do for her.
Okay. Okay. um, you said mommy will make a way. So, can you tell me about a time where you had to take it on the chin, as far as I made a way, but it's not the way that you would prefer, or
Whew. Just about every, almost every decision you would like to be able to do something better, but just a more specific nailed down time. When Jayla was, my goodness, I think maybe she was turning 12. It was 11 or 12. For whatever reason, my child decided that she was in love with Adidas and all things Adidas, and she wanted an Adidas birthday party. An Adidas birthday party. And
cha-ching.
I'm like, how in the hell? Who the hell? I'm Googling and looking. They don't have Adidas decorations. How am I going to make? Listen, okay? But so I went and got a whole bunch of black and white stuff, black and white. I turned my whole living room into a Adidas box. I sent out invitations and told everybody to wear Adidas outfits. I decorated her cake myself because there was no design for an Adidas cake. So my stick people are ugly. You understand me? But I decorated this cake myself, and I made it pop, and she had the absolute best time in the world. And a lot of time as parents, this is kind of going up, like, we want to do things so big and feel like our kids, listen, they be tickled pink with just some of the basic stuff that we feel like they wouldn't be happy with. So a lot of times, I will say, moms, we bring that guilt on ourselves. Circling back to the mom guilt thing. So it's just, I don't know. You just kind of rock with it and do what you can do.
So, do you think that we love to do grandiose actions as parents, or and especially moms? Do you think that we love to do grandiose actions, or moms are more prone to do grandiose actions due to the fact that they were denied such grandiose actions when they were that age? Like, you
Part
know,
of it could be that for some, I think it's probably different for everybody. Part of it could be that, or part of it could just be that they deserve it. Like, I just recently, I threw her a sweet 16 birthday party, and I bought her a car, but she deserved it. Jayla has great grades. Um, her and her boyfriend are very responsible, because you have to be responsible in my eyes and in my house to have a boyfriend, because if you can't do XYZ, then you have no business, you know, with a boyfriend. So she deserved it. And so I was happy to do that. So sometimes yeah, sometimes we be trying to do it big just because we didn't get to. But a lot of times, hopefully, I would hope that parents are out there doing it because the kids really deserve it.
okay, okay. You mentioned that your daughter has a boyfriend. How was that stage in life
Listen,
presented? Like, because we're talking. I mean, because I have yet to talk to a teenage daughter's mom, so you're the first one. So hand clap to you on that one.
thank
You know
you.
what
Listen, so when she was starting high school, her freshman year, we sat down and we had a conversation. And I was like, listen, Jayla, so I know you're going to be into boys and blah 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 XYZ. I said, just do me a favor. Let's keep it, ninth grade, 10th grade, whatever. Keep it chill.
cutesy
In
woosy,
your age.
cutesy woosy. Let's keep it cutesy woosy.
Of course not. She comes back like 4 weeks into the school year. Mommy, his name is Anthony, and he's a junior, and he's 6'4".
Oh, 6 foot four.
Well, he's 6'5" now, but at the time, yeah, he was 6'4".
Good God.
So, but what I can say is they've been together ever since. She will be a junior when school starts Monday. He has graduated high school and is going to the Marines in September.
Okay.
So, and honestly, I know a lot of parents think that, oh, you letting your daughter date and blah, blah, blah. Listen, they spend the majority of the time up my butt, sitting with me. They like me. I don't know why. But I don't mind them being here because I know where they are, so they're safe, they're cool. I had children eating up house and home this summer. Like, I had it like that. But I'm gonna feed you, but you gotta go home because but so it's not as bad as you think, and it's all about setting boundaries and being responsible. If you can't keep Jayla and her friends and her boyfriend, you got to bring me your report card. And if a couple of them were looking at me like I was crazy, because you're not just going to sit over at my house and watch TV and eat up all my food and you flunking, go home and study something or just go home. So, but they don't mind. They all bring me their report cards or they'll screenshot it to me or something. So, it worked for me.
Okay, you mentioned boundaries and trust. So, what are some practices that you have come to learn that are actually harmful when it comes to trying to trust your child? Because we've been told all our lives that you're supposed to know your kid inside and out. You know what I mean? Oh,
Mhm.
your kid's not supposed to have secrets. Like, have you found out that you can let your kid have secrets, but they just got to know what secrets to be kept? Type situations. You get what I'm asking?
I get what you're saying. We don't necessarily say secrets because in my mind, um, this might sound so graphic, but if Jayla takes a crap and it's green with Skittles coming out and you feel the need to tell me, I want you to be comfortable enough to tell me.
Okay.
Um, that's just how, matter of fact, I've had big arguments with family members because they would tell my child, well, don't tell your mom, but look, don't ever tell something I birthed not to tell me something. That's a no. That's a quick way to get me to, you know. But I don't know. It's just we talk, and maybe I think maybe our relationship is different from some others, and some will say that it's kind of the same. I grew up with Jayla because, like I said, I had her when I was 19. Sometimes you come through here and it's more of it seems like it's two sisters arguing in this mug than a mother and daughter. I'm not even gonna hold you. It just is what it is
I know
because
you.
I was 19 when I had her. Um, but we just trust each other. We sit, we talk, we tell each other everything. We probably tell each other too much, but it always stays between me, her, and these walls. Um, so I think it's just all about building a kind of a rapport with your child. And if you need, Jill and I don't have boundaries, but maybe a certain parent dynamic might need them. But you're with that, your children should always feel comfortable enough to come tell you anything, no matter what. Even if they think, it's something they're going to get in trouble for. I explain that to Jayla. Talk to me. Don't let me find out. You know, talk to me. Tell me. Children are allowed to get angry. A lot of parents don't. Oh, they have feelings. Listen, you want to cuss me out, you want to flip out, that's all fine and good. Go behind your bedroom door, do your thing to yourself, and get it off. That's fine. I'm not going to stop you from doing that. Not to my face. You got to sneak like I did, but you are perfectly welcome to go in. If you want to tear that mug up, tear it up because you're going to have to clean it up. But, so I think that's another thing with parents. Oh, they're not allowed to be, they get mad at their children for being upset. Aren't you human? I mean, aren't they human? Like, how
That
you gonna
is
tell them they
true.
can't be mad at you? Why not?
So, uh, if we, I'm gonna piggyback off that.
That's completely fine.
In so many in your own words,
Mhm.
do you feel like mothers of today are too friendly with their kids?
Sometimes I think there are some things like you can be friendly and kiki and all that, but your children should know that thing about boundaries. You're saying they should know when it's time. I'm still your mom. I'm still your parent, whatever parent's raising them. And I do think that sometimes they focus so hard on wanting to be their friend that they forget to be their parent too. I do.
Okay, okay. So, as crazy as this has been,
Mhm.
the thing we call motherhood. Uh, have you ever felt it?
Motherhood medicine.
Huh?
I said motherhood medicine.
Oh yeah, the motherhood medicine, the motherhood serum,
Yes.
serum. It's called Winnie, spelled Wine. Winnie.
Ow. Okay.
Have you ever felt intimidated by a course of action regarding your child?
Meaning, explain that a little bit more.
Has there ever been a time where you had to make a decision about your child that you really hated that you had to make this decision, but you know that this decision was in her best interest?
I have. I have. The first time, the biggest thing I ever had to do was I think it was in 2012, I moved from Robinson County to Charlotte. I had a big job opportunity, but I didn't have my own place at the time. I was going to be living with my aunt for a few months, and my family didn't want me switching Jayla schools. It would be like 3 times from here to there to our final place. So I had to leave her with, I didn't have to, let me rephrase that, chose to leave her with my grandparents for a few months. Um, and so I left in August. I got her back right before Christmas in December.
How
It's
was that? How was that
the
process for you?
hardest thing I have ever done. I went home every weekend to be with her. It was terrible because we had never been away from each other like that. But I knew that it was necessary not to pull her, bounce her from school to school to school. And I didn't want to do that, but it was very hard. I've also, and I think I've not think I've gotten some flack from this from certain people. I've also ended friendships when she was younger. Now that she's a little older, I kind of let her do her thing. But in middle school, I've ended friendships that I saw weren't beneficial for her, or the little girls were using her or something like that. And she didn't. She was mad. She was mad. She was upset. She was all that. She learned later that mommy made the best decision. Um, but I separated her from family members. No, I've never kept her from her dad or anything like that. He's her dad. I can't do anything about that. That's all fine and good. That was on me. I made him her dad. But other family members,
You know
grandparents.
what? Hold on, right quick. Let me give you a hand clap on that one. Because ability, goddamn ability in the house. Yeah, accountability in the house. I like
Absolutely.
that.
Absolutely, absolutely. But other people, grandparents, and these are my grandparents, her grandparents, all the, if you're not beneficial for my child, if I feel like you're a problem or an issue in this moment, I will separate you. Now, on that with her dad, there was a short period of time where I think it was for like a year where he was popping in and out when he felt like it, visiting her. So for about 6 months, no, you can't. When you get right and you're going to know that then you can. Because also, I'm not going to let you run in and out of her life and hurt her feelings either. That's what you're not going to do. So it's just all about coming back again to boundaries with people and as far as your children. You don't mess with mine. I'm really sweet and I'm on my business, but I turned into a real big monster about that one. So
Okay, cool. So since you know you talked about dad, but and you mentioned that you are currently going through a divorce. So how have your dating life been affected by your position as a mom?
she don't never want to leave the house.
I say, baby, you got to go take a walk for about 15 to 30
No,
minutes.
no. It actually. So I don't know. I haven't dated a lot. So it doesn't. It hasn't really come up. I do know now that I'm trying to date. Um, if they come to the house, which is not really because I really don't. That's a whole nother podcast thing because I don't understand this whole wanting to lay up at somebody's house and nobody wants to go on actual dates anymore. I don't get it. But
Bruh, it's COVID out there. COVID.
no, even before, man, even before COVID, can I come to your house? No, you cannot. But dating
They are
hasn't been that bad.
homosexual.
Huh?
They are hobosexual.
Well,
Hobosexual.
they can't over here. But she has her moment. Like, okay, so I'll go back to when I first started dating my husband. I think that's a better. She was not feeling it at first. I have to share my mother. I have to share my time. What? I can't just come lay in your room and on your bed. Excuse you. So she was really not my husband's biggest fan at first. They are thick as thieves now, and I love it. I wouldn't put a stop to that either, because that's not me. I'm not about pulling people out of my child's life that are beneficial to her and love her for real.
Okay.
But she was really, because she's the only child. I can't have more children. Um, I did have a son, but he didn't make it. So um, she's just used to being just me and her. So
Okay. Okay. So when if I may ask,
mhm,
when you were trying to find someone when she was younger,
mhm.
what were the prerequisites that you set with her in mind? Such as if because you said with your husband at first she wasn't feeling him.
Right.
So how did he make it to tryouts, quote unquote? How, how was that
It
presented?
did become a little easier for him because she was older. I met my husband 5 years ago. Yeah,
Okay.
5 years ago. So she was like 10, 11, something, sometime something around that. So it was a little bit easier. I was a little bit slightly more comfortable introducing her. Now, when she was younger, I can't think of a man that met my you want to meet who? So just because she was, I just felt very protective because of the way I grew up and some of the things that happened to me back then. I refused to let that happen to my child. So not a lot of guys really got to meet her. So there was one, his name was Justin, awesome guy, and they are still close to this day. Me and him are very close. He's married and all that, but that's my buddy. And he loves Jayla and Jayla loves him. So there wasn't really a lot. I didn't do a lot of dating. Um, so there wasn't really a lot of in and out.
Okay. Okay. So, what, what, if it was, I'm gonna keep saying, if I may ask,
You were fine.
um, you mentioned that you did have a angel baby.
I did.
Okay. And like I said, this is once again we're talking about the roles of motherhood. So, what was your steps with coping with that? Because there are mothers out here who, they have experienced that same type of situation, and they're stuck.
Right. Absolutely. Well, so my son, I had him in June of 2012, and he was born with a hole in his heart, but it was huge. So they were trying to close it. Um, I birthed him and heard him cry for a few seconds, and then he was gone. The next time they brought him back to me, he was deceased. Um, for me, I broke. And I complete transparency, I deal with mental health issues, and I did then. That might have even been the start of it. So my mother died in June of 2007, and their death dates were like days apart. So I had my son on the 24th of June, and on the 27th, made like some years since my mom died, like 6 years, I think, or something like that. So I broke. I couldn't cope. Um, it was very hard and very difficult. I won't say that things got easier to deal with. It still hurts. It still gets hard. Like his birthday comes around, and I wonder, you know, what he would look like, what he would be doing, what he would be getting into. I do get some kind of peace because him and my mom are together. And I feel like in a way I sort of got my mother back because, like I said, she died in June. I found it in August. I was 4 months pregnant with Jayla. And so I don't know, you kind of have to think about the good moments. You're going to be sad. Like anybody who tells you you're never going to be sad. And that's a lie because it could be anything is triggering. It could be a smell. It could be a sound. I was in the hospital because I have some kidney issues. These people are going to be like, this woman is falling apart. But was in the hospital because I was having some kidney issues and
Told you
something
that.
started beeping and it straight triggered me. Like I felt like I couldn't move and I couldn't breathe. I was holding my breath. But then I remembered it was the sound. It was like one of the last sounds I heard as they were taking Jeremiah, my son's name, which is Jeremiah, as they were taking him out. And so it's just, you just give yourself grace, is all I can say to those women. Give yourself grace and feel however you feel. And in my best Bernie Mac voice, if people are trying to rush you to get over it, fuck them. Fuck them in the ass and whatever else he said. You got to do it at your own pace, or else you're really not going to be over it, and it's going to hit you super hard one day when you're not realizing it, and you might not be able to crawl out of that hole.
That those are words to live by, and you know, um, even though I didn't know you back then,
Mhm.
I still say you are strong. I'm happy that you are here. I'm pretty sure everybody else is there. Like it takes a very strong person, and that's why I say a mother. A mother has incredible strength to be able to pick yourself up and to be able to move yourself forward for in such a tough situation. So, like I said, I'm proud of you. If nobody else
It's
told you, I'm
very
proud of
difficult. Listen, even with living children, it is hard to pick yourself out of emotional situations. I have to tell Jayla all the time, I have to remind her that mommy's a human too. Mommy is not superwoman. I have feelings and everything just like you do, because she would get mad when I would send her to a godmom's house. And I'd be like, well, I can't be. And I had to break it down to her and tell her, I can't be mommy and Wendy, Charlie, whatever, at the same time, because I'm always going to choose her first, even over myself,
you. Okay.
emotionally wise. Like, like if she's sad and crying, and I gotta suck my stuff up. Just like if we both got the flu. I ain't got the flu, she got the flu. You get what I'm saying?
So all the medicine gonna go to her. And
You know what I'm saying? So I have to, now that she was older and could understand, I had to explain to, I'm a human too. I need this moment. I can't focus on you right this second. Doesn't mean I don't love you. It just means I got to love on me a little extra right now. So I think that's an important thing for parents to have that conversation with their kids as well.
Okay. Okay. So things have gotten real intense, and I am glad that we are speaking transparently. So just to ease off the gas a little bit and take the easy street, we're going to go to a quick commercial, and then after that, we're going to go into our question of what is one of your fun. Give me three funny memories with your child.
My
And,
gracious, I
and
got you.
since you got a teen, give me one when she was a baby, one when she was a child, and one when she's a teen. All right, y'all. We about
Okay.
to go to a quick commercial. We'll be back after this. All right, y'all. We are back. We are back. We are back, and we are with the lovely Miss Charlie B. Miss Charlie B. Let me go ahead and say this now, before we get back into this thing, man. I am very, very honored to know you, because it's a lot of mothers out here who they they feel like they can't just speak freely, about those hardships, about those experiences, because to a degree, it's like even though you're telling me I can speak about it, I still have to keep going.
Mhm.
That's not fair to them. So I
Right.
thank you for showing that you can take time out your day to talk about, to stop and reflect. So
Absolutely.
I thank
Absolutely.
you. I thank you. I thank you.
Thank
All
you.
right, let's get to it. These funny memories, man.
My goodness. Funny memories.
You,
Child, middle, and teen.
yep.
Okay, so baby, she was like 1.5, maybe even 2, but I'm not sure. And she got quiet, and we all know what happens when children are quiet. So
I gotta
I
go
went
look
in the
for him.
bathroom to, huh?
You gotta go look for him. Like, hey, what you got going on, man?
Right. So I went to look for her. She was in the bathroom. And back then, I'm that mom. I was raised, you grease your babies down. So she was in, I had that big thing of Vaseline from her head to her toe, covered in Vaseline. I had to wash her with Dawn soap so I could break up the grease. Okay. And she just standing there smiling, rubbing it all in her.
Not
But you know what? I'd rather that than a poopy diaper. So I wasn't even too mad.
okay. Okay.
Um, let's see. When she got up, maybe toddler to preteen years. Oh, my glory. Okay, so my child is mixed, but she is pasty colored. Love
Okay.
her. So she was with her dad and at his people's house for Thanksgiving. A little backstory. So we didn't have Hulu and Netflix and all that back then. It was just straight movies. We watched like White Chicks, Princess and the Frog, and freaking Life all day long. Those were our
Well,
movies.
that's a A-list playlist right there.
Right? Right. Until Your very bright child goes to her white native grandparents' house for Thanksgiving, and Granny pulls a pie out of the.
Not nigga pie.
My child asked her white granny how much to turn one of them white pies into a nigga pie.
Oh,
Her daddy called me choking and laughing so hard he couldn't breathe. He said, "Guess what your child just said?" When he told me I about that. Mind you, it's a house full of white and native people because it's
oh.
Thanksgiving and they all go over there for Thanksgiving. And she wanted to know how much to turn one of them white pies into nigga pies. So that was, yeah, that was hilarious. I died. Um, and as a teenager, funny moments. Um, I would have to say because I eavesdrop. I don't have to, but sometimes it's just fun. And the first time I heard her going off on this chick, when I say she let her hold it, and I guess maybe it's not funny to, maybe to others, it was funny to me. Because when my child gave it to this girl, I mean, she called her everything in the book, and I was like, "Look at you sounding like your mama, you go." Because she was a pushover, my child was the one who let everybody talk to her any kind of way. They used it. She always had like money for candy and chips and stuff like that. They used it for her money. Like she was so sweet. And I was just so proud that she had finally let, so she let this girl hold it. I ain't gonna lie, I was proud. I was very proud.
Okay.
Those would be three moments that I could just right offhand think about that were funny and enjoyable with my child.
Okay. Yeah. The nigga pie one is definitely that definitely would have been top notch.
Listen, her daddy and I still laugh about it. It was funny to me. It was hilarious.
Whew.
Side
So
note, what's not so funny is she was around the same age, and I used to take goody powders a lot because I had bad headaches. I don't anymore because they added to my ulcers. But so the dude on TV, her and her dad were watching somebody on TV, and the dude was doing a line of coke on the thing. And this heifer goes, "My mommy be using that."
chill.
So her daddy called me. It was
Kids will put you in some shit, don't they?
he was going off. What are you? But we and him had been in a relationship, so he knew that I used goodies, but it wasn't clicking. I was like, "Goody powders, goody powders." She's seen me take, not snort them. She has seen me take goody powders. She just sees that it's white. That's goody powders. Lord have mercy. Child had him thinking I was, on
Why
that
do
booger
kids
sugar.
do that to us though? Like, why do
Set
kids
you up for
really?
okie doke. My
Kids just
mama
putting
do
our
that.
business out there.
Because children like the feeling
Listen,
of their parents possibly getting in trouble.
all she saw was white powder, and listen,
Turn.
that was it. So
Hmm.
yeah, she set me up. She set me
Hard. So through all of this, through all of everything, through all the antics and all this, what do you find most rewarding about being a mother?
Oh, watching her do better than me. Absolutely watching her do better than me, watching her love and live, watching her take no shit at a young age instead of waiting until she was my grown up age. Um, she has found a love for, I didn't know she could paint. Beautiful, beautiful paintings. She loves to cook. Had no, my child will get it, man, her shrimp and grits, listen, listen. And so she wants to go to culinary school. She's looking at, I think it's called Johnson and Wells in Charlotte or Wales or something like that, whatever, Johnson and somebody.
Johnson and Wells.
That is where she wants to go. So we're going to go tour that a couple times and talk to some people. Like I just love watching her progress. And then, like I said, she stole my face, completely stole my face, but I stole my mother's face. So I love getting to watch her, and she acts like my mother, where I can be too serious. A lot of the times, Jayla is a goofball, just like my mother. So I just love to watch her interact. And when she's not talking and working my nerves and asking me for money, I love to just look at her like,
You ain't have to throw the money party in there.
listen, my extremely very broke best friend, my broke needy best friend. But I just love watching the person, and it may sound cliche, but it is what it. I love watching the person she's becoming. I absolutely love it. I love it,
Okay.
and she's strong. She's so much stronger than I was at that age, and I love it.
Okay. I I definitely can relate. I can relate. Um So, since you see that she is blossoming, since you see that she is flourishing, and the fact that she is embracing herself and finding herself, how do you balance her happiness with your happiness?
By teaching her that she's responsible for her own happiness. Nobody, mommy, daddy, boyfriends, friends, nobody is responsible for your happiness but you, because at any point you can be alone. And that's not saying that I would leave her alone, but I could die. People don't want to talk about it, but it just is what it is. At any point in life, you could find yourself alone. And if you put all your happiness into someone else for them to make you happy, you're going to forever be miserable. You have to learn how to make yourself happy, and then you can be happy with others.
That's deep. That's deep. Damn, that's deep. Why do you, if you don't mind me asking,
Yeah.
why do you think, especially mothers, why do you think it's so taboo to talk about leaving your child? Like when I like as far as passing away or something. Why do you think it's so taboo? Like to me, I'm just saying this. To me, I think it's a conversation that should be had. So we are comfortable with understanding that we will be alone sometime, or that I won't always be here. And I don't think saying I won't always be here is going to help. That conversation. I think for them to understand that you have to be able to keep walking when I will no longer be walking.
Absolutely. Because a lot of people don't want to live like they just don't want to live in that world of that kind of realization. If I should say, like even my friends and family members. So I have severe kidney issues, and a small heart defect. Like I just in 2018, once one thing happened, it seemed like everything broke down. So it was a very real thing that I almost didn't make it out of the hospital. I coded on the way there in the helicopter. I was in ICU for a while. Like it was, it was very real. So when I got out of the hospital, I had to make a will. My doctor was like, "It's a good idea," and at first I was very offended. Oh, I'm gonna die, like, but no, like, yes, you are going to die. It may not be today or tomorrow, but if it is, nothing is in place, and it's like a big thing, and it's really big around Black people. It just starts. They act like that it's just you making a you having a will, that's bougie. No, that's smart, because even if you don't have anything to leave to your kid, you have your kid. So where are they going to go? What's going to like there's so just things have to be in place and in order. So I feel like it's a conversation that should be I just feel like there's so many more conversations that Black people should be having with their children that they don't, as far as self-harm, mental health, you passing, them passing. There's so many things that they just don't talk about. So then you leave and these children know nothing.
So okay, you just opened a door for me. I never thought about my, as parents, it's always a dark thought. I call it a dark horse.
Hmm.
It's always a dark horse to think about your kid leaving before you, you
Hmm.
know, and that like I was having a conversation earlier. you know, it becomes real. It becomes real to you when you're trying to prepare your kid for the real world, and
Hmm.
you have to teach them that the world is not a nice place.
Right.
you know and it's mean, it's unforgiving, and it
Absolutely.
will continue to roll over you till there's nothing left, and will continue to roll
Absolutely.
to the next. you know
Absolutely.
so especially in Black communities, I'm in no way, shape, form, fashion am I sitting here saying Black people got it worse, da, da, da. But what I am saying is we were taught to survive, but we wasn't taught to how to live. In other words, you can live a good life if you keep up with your mental health. You
Hmm.
can live a good life if you understand that anything you do will have consequences. Good.
Absolutely.
We always tell them be a nice person, and I always say it. There's no such thing as a nice person. A nice person is not a good person, because as kids you were told to play nice. You wasn't told to be good to people. You were told to be nice, and I feel like nice is just a facade. So
Absolutely.
if you're telling your kid, be nice, they're never going to be they're going to always try to please, you know.
Absolutely.
and,
Absolutely.
and to me, I would like, I preach that to my kids. I don't want you to be nice. I want you to be a good person, because
Right.
being a good person being a good person might mean that you got to be aggressive with somebody. Being a good person might mean that you have to put them in their place. Being a good person might be you have to step away from them. But that's all in the realm of being a good person.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But if I'm telling you to be nice, it seems like being nice means be docile, be apathetic, about yourself because you don't want to offend others. So,
No, they just have to be honest, loyal, and respectful. I feel like,
and
that's
that's
what,
the makings of a good person. That's a
yeah,
make of a very good person.
absolutely.
So that's if there's one thing that I try to instill in my kids, and I know I'm not a mom, but as a parent, if
But
there's
you're a
one thing,
parent.
yeah, if there's one thing I try to instill in my kids is that the world is not nice. The world is just is brutally unfair. And
Right.
unfair does not mean that it's a bad thing. It just means that the world is not fair all the way around. The
Right.
world it is unfair, but it is unbiased, if that makes any sense. Like, I tell my, especially my son, because my son is 14. I tell him all the time, like, man, look, I understand, it's normal for you to wear your jewelry, 10 rings. Like, my son is big on jewelry. He put 10 rings on. He put on 4 different bracelets. He got on, like, you would think that this joker was going to
You
a music.
sound like me when I first moved to North Carolina.
Yeah, so, and I be trying to explain to him, there are, although this came easy to you, there are kids that are going to look at you and say, bruh, my daddy ain't never bought me a ring. You got 10 rings on your hand, and I don't even have one. You got 4 bracelets on your arm. I don't even have one. You got 2 chains around your neck. I don't even have one. And I'm like, that's what the world will show you, that just because, they don't see you as, oh, well, Jaden, you're a good person. They see you as the flashy nigga. And I'm like, that can bring harm to you. So I
Mhm.
tell them, whatever you do, do it with discretion. If you're going to wear your jewelry in discretion. You don't got to have on all 10 rings. You can wear one ring. You can wear one bracelet, you can wear one necklace, you can wear just your necklace or just your bracelet.
Isn't it so sad though that we have to condition our children to live like that? I mean, I know that we have to do it. I am a very realist. I still think it's very sad that we have to condition our children to live this way because the way the world is set up, that it's completely crazy to me.
Yes,
Completely.
it definitely is. It definitely is a sad situation, but it's a necessary evil, if I have to say it.
It is.
If I have to put it any type of way to make it candid, it is a necessary evil, because everybody is not raised the same, and that's why I be telling my kids, know who you're dealing with, whether
Mhm.
it be an uncle, whether it be an aunt, cousin, whatever.
I'm so
Understand?
glad you said that. I'm so glad that I am not the only parent. Listen, I had to explain to my child and break it down to her. You can love everybody and you don't have to like them. I
Mm-mm.
don't care if they're your family member. If you have a family member that has the same traits and characteristics as somebody out on the street that you don't like, who said you got to like them?
You don't.
Cause what? Cause why? You can love them and feed them with a long handle spoon and go on about your business. You don't have to like everybody. My child, from 13 to 14, 14 and a half, don't care how much shit I get, could not stand that heifer. You understand me? Loved her, would have still shut the world down for her. But I couldn't stand, and she couldn't stand me. We did not, and she'll tell you, we did not like each other through that for that age gap at all. Couldn't get along. No, I wanted her out of my house. I kept her. Whew. But it just so you don't have to like everybody as long as you're respectful and going about your business.
Yeah, yeah, and most of all, one thing, one thing that I think is lost, especially for kids these days, and that's the reason why that's once again on this road of motherhood. That's the reason why I wanted to talk to the moms, because I want to implant the seed of people understanding you do not have to be confrontational with disrespect. In other words, if you feel disrespected, remove yourself from the situation. You can state that you felt disrespected, but remove yourself from from where you feel disrespected at. I tell my son, go where you're celebrated, not tolerated, because if you're tolerated, bro, you really don't have a place there. you're
Right.
the first one on the chopping block. So
Absolutely.
and most of all, I got to tell my daughters that because this social media thing is getting real rough on little girls. Like everybody want to go viral, everybody want to be the next it factor, but if you look at how, if you, especially today's society, if you look at everybody that's going viral is either stupid, over sexualized, or they're just downright controversial. And what I mean by controversial is, oh well, you're a black girl, but oh well, I don't want to be black. Being black is ugly, and
Uh-huh.
it's like, damn, like
You got to do all that to be famous.
right, and I don't want my kids to believe. For me, I don't want my kids to believe that that is the road to take. Don't never sell out your integrity for profit, and that is something that I believe is lost on this generation of kids because their parents sell out their integrity for profit. It may not be through social media, but it could be the fact that you're working 18 hours and it only requires you to work 12, but because you want to give your kid the best life possible, you're working 18 hours. So that's 18 hours away from your kid. So with that
Right.
being said, who is watching your kid for these 18 hours? Who is doing anything with these kids? What is around your kid for 18
Right.
hours?
Absolutely.
Those are some real foreboding questions. So, but that's just me. Um, I got two more questions for you, and then
Okay. What's up, love?
we'll definitely conclude this nice little segment. Um, my first question is, it's a request actually.
Okay.
I want you, if I may ask, could you please give a could you please give a sincere piece of advice to a mother in need right now? It does not have to be no type of it doesn't have to be no type of in need as far as financial, nothing like that. It's just she's going through it.
Right.
What would you say to a mother who is going through it right now?
What would I say to? Okay. I do not claim to be saved, sanctified, and filled with the Holy Ghost. Y'all have heard my mouth um, on this show. However, I do believe in God, and even if you're not spiritual, you don't have to go listen to the song. But Donnie, what's his name, McClarkin or something like that. He's got this song called "Stand." So it's after you've done all you can, you just stand. And I really think that mothers need to learn that. Listen, if you have cried about it, if you have tried to figure it out, if you have done everything possible, just be still and stop for a second. We get so caught up in the this of it. I don't even have a word for it. The that of life that sometimes you just need to stop and take a break and refresh, and it'll come to you. So after you've done all you can about any situation, doesn't matter what you're overwhelmed about, those children, the bills, your man, yourself, just stop and stand. You don't have to pray if you don't pray, but if you do, you could pray, you could chant, whatever it is, but just stop for a second and breathe and let it go for that moment because you've done everything. So that's the best advice I can give you.
Okay. And the second one is going to be a little personal.
That's fine.
Uh, I would like for you, it's once again, it's another request. If I may request, I would like for you to leave a message for your child,
For my child.
a
My
message,
God, he's trying to make me cry.
a message for your child.
Whew.
I'm not trying to make you cry. I've asked all mothers to do this because
That's
it
fine.
is we always wondered what I really wondered what my mom thought about me. I really wondered what my pops thought about me type situation.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's no problem at all. I would say to my child, Jayla Ryan, that I love her, of course, and I am proud of her, proud of you in case you watch this. You are truly the best thing in this world that I could have ever done. You have taught me how to love and how to be affectionate. I know it's a fight, but, and just to keep always being yourself. Don't second guess yourself and don't let people tell you who you are because only you know. And you're an amazing chick. And I love you, Moo.
All right. So This has been the showcase, Miss. Man, let's give Miss Charlie B another round of applause, man, because she definitely, she Oh no, we're not gonna do it like that. Come on, be better than that. Don't do her like that. Come on now. Good God. There we go. Lord. All right. All right. All right. But most of all, if I may, I do want to give you your roses as far as coming on here and definitely giving words of encouragement because I know that it is a uphill battle. I know just from us personally talking, you fight some in some insane battles, and the fact that you still have a beautiful smile, the fact that you still, you can still light up a room, the fact that you can still have a song in your heart, those type things, it definitely carries over, and it definitely hasn't gone unnoticed. So from me to you, I say thank you for being you. It's not easy being you. I damn sure know it's not easy being you every day, but I know for sure that it is goddamn worth it to know you. It is goddamn worth it to know that you are a great mom, you are a great friend, but most of all, you are a good person. Not a nice person, but a good person.
Yeah.
Said, with that being said, we usually do a gym drop, just a little 1 minute gym. It could be about anything you want to give somebody advice on. So, what's one gym that you want to give out?
I don't even know. Just relax. I know that's easier said than done, but like relax. Do what you got to do to relax. If you partake in the smoke or the wine, take some time and just chill out.
You heard her. Okay, so for my gym, it's gonna be this, man. Understand that you do not have to rise to the occasion if you were never supposed to be a part of the event. Understand that. There's no point in trying to make your moment when it's not your moment. There's no point in trying to push a anvil that was never meant for you to be even touching. So with that being said, understand your place in this world and understand that your place is your place. And what you make it is what you make it. But most of all, if you do make it happy, make sure you protect your happiness. If you feel like it's a work in progress, make sure that you are steadfast on your progress because if somebody else swerve in your lane, it's very easy for you to swerve into somebody else's. But if you know your lane, it is so much easier to move around them and get back to it. This has been
Mhm.
the showcase. You guys, I love y'all. Once again, this is Tales of Motherhood, Miss Charlie B. I'm Tater Bear, and we out, you guys. Much love, much love.